Hey, what's happening, everybody? YouTube, Rumble. What's happening? What's happening? It's your man Tone Space, aka Poets Kane, back at you again. Got a little merchandise. You know what I'm saying? It might hit the market soon, so tell me what you think about the merchandise that I'm rocking right now, right? Now, boy, oh boy, going down this rabbit hole that is the Tupac murder investigation, it gets deeper and deeper. Shit is crazy. Let's just get straight to the point. A little bit of preface. As you know, Keefe D did the proffer agreement, sit down, implicated himself and his Southside Crip cohorts in the murder of Tupac. For the longest time, it's been rumored that Orlando Anderson was actually the shooter. Come to find out from a new witness that wasn't there, mind you, but was roommates with Big Drae, Freaky Drae, who was in the car with Keefe D and them when they shot Tupac. Freaky Drae admitted to the roommate, which is alleged to be this Southside Crip or former Southside Crip member by the name of Dirty Rock. He told him that he, Big Drae that is, actually did the shooting. And you know, as I think about this thing and more details come out, it just makes more and more sense. Here's a detail I haven't heard people talking about that much, right? Now, it was said that Orlando Anderson's shoulder was disconnected after the jumping. The Dirty Rock dude said that quite often Orlando Anderson, he used to like to set it on people, so a lot of times his shoulder will get dislocated. Now, it doesn't matter if it's the right or the left shoulder. You know, if I look, because I think there's images of Orlando Anderson in the sling after the fight, but it really doesn't matter, right? Because let's say, for example, let's say his left shoulder is the one that got dislocated. It's all messed up. It's dislocated. He just had a fight. His joint is out of commission, right? He got it in a sling. He's trying to stabilize it. He ain't going to be trying to do that much moving, right? Now, let's say his trigger hand is the right hand. Now, of course, if it's the left hand with a dislocated shoulder, it's going to be hard to aim and shoot. It's going to be quite painful. But even if it's the right shoulder, the fact that Orlando Anderson was in the back in the right seat while Big Drae was in the left seat, and then to the left of them was Pac and Suge, then for Orlando Anderson even to hold a gun with his right hand and have to reach over Big Drae, even though he was tall and lanky, let's say he could get his arm out the window, that's still going to put pressure on that other shoulder that just got dislocated. That's going to be a hard thing to accomplish considering the injury that he had sustained, about 2 hours earlier. You know what I mean? So, to be honest, the Drae thing is starting to make a lot more sense to me. Down below, or a little to the side of this thing here, you can see a picture of Big Drae. Now, something interesting just came on the home screen. You know how the YouTube algorithm goes. You're looking up certain things related to it are going to come out. About a month ago, somebody did a little mini documentary of Big Drae. So let's play and react to it right now. It's real quick. It's like about 3 minutes. But there was something quite interesting that I found in this little documentary. Let's get to it. Let me get to it real quick. Check this out.
Welcome back to another episode of War in Cali. In this episode,
the channel
I will detail
War
Big
in
Drae
Cali.
from Southside Compton Crip. Drae will be born DeAndre Smith and grow up in Compton, California. Drae will always be a big dude, standing around 6'5" or 6'6". He plays multiple sports in high school, being good in basketball, and a good football player as well. During this time period, Drae will become a part of the Southside Compton Crips. Now, the Southside Compton Crips, they would be established over 40 years ago and would later become a major factor among several Crip gangs in the city of Compton. They had many Crip gangs and several rival Piru sets. By the 80s, the Southside Crips would become major players in the drug trade and had many members seeing hundreds of thousands and some seeing millions. They were also known for being killers. Drae would be in the mix of many of both and had his name tied to a lot in the streets. Drae would grow up around many reputable Southside Crips, some being names like Orlando Anderson, who was known as a drug dealer and also a killer. The Southside Crips will be at war with several Pirus, and this will lead to a war in Compton between the Southside Crips and all the Pirus affiliated with Death Row Records. Orlando will be frontlining that beef and was even trying to take Death Row chains off Pirus. September 7, 1996, the Southside Crips, including Orlando, his Uncle Keefe D, T Brown, and Big Drae were all in Vegas. But that same night, the whole Death Row Records were there as well. They will all be there for a Mike Tyson fight. Orlando would end up running into Death Row, and they would jump him. Later that night, Orlando would want revenge. So later that night, Orlando, Keefe D, T Brown, and Big Drae would go out looking for Death Row and anybody involved with the Pirus. The Southside Crips would get a weapon from a man named Zip, but Keefe D would later say that Big Drae didn't want to do the shooting. but this will later lead to Suge Knight and Tupac being shot, and Tupac losing his life. Speculation will always say that Orlando killed Tupac, but a lot of people will say it was Big Drae. Orlando and Big Drae being the only ones in the back seat, the shooting had to only come from them two. This will later lead to back and forth shootings in Compton, and Orlando and Big Drae and the rest of the Southside Crips were investigated for killing Tupac. Drae and Orlando were also being looked at for several other shootings, leading to a few people's deaths. By 1998, Orlando will be shot and killed in an unrelated incident after he had a shootout with another Crip. Big Drae will be free from all charges, stemming from any murders or anything he was involved in. Drae would continue to sell drugs and be active in the Southside Crips, but he would start moving to different avenues and make a record label called Runoff Records. New albums would come out on the record label, one being called Hard White, which features several rappers.
Whoa! This right here, this thing is what shocked me. In 2003, Big Drae, affiliate, direct member of the Southside Crips, who was heavily speculated to be the killers of Pac, whether it was Orlando. And as you heard from this documentary, even on the streets back then, it was rumored that Big Drae was the shooter as well. Look at this. Look at this feature. This is a project that Big Drae on his record label in 2003, Runoff Records, he did a project called Hard White. And just look at the names that you see on this screen right here. Big Snoop Dogg. Supposed to be Pac's homie. All right, they had their little falling out. He inducted him into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was supposed to be his man's. Snoop Dogg was on this project. Snoop Dogg was on the killer or the co-conspiring killers of Tupac Shakur's very own project. Now this is before the wave of the internet and people emailing tracks together and stuff like that. Back in 2003, I mean, stuff like that was starting. But it makes you wonder, were they hanging out together? Did he record in a studio commissioned or purchased or time bought by Big Drae? Was he cool with Big Drae? There's no way Snoop didn't know that was a Southside Crip. Snoop Dogg, Warren G, Trey D, who's also down with Snoop Dogg in them. This is crazy. This part, this is just the shocking moment right here. Snoop Dogg was on a project by Tupac's killer. Quite possibly the actual trigger man that took Tupac's life. Snoop Dogg did a project. This is insane. What do you guys think? I mean, to me, it ties a lot of things together because people have been speculating how Snoop was hating when Pac came to the scene. And even like before that, when Suge and Death Row was trying to get a hold of Pac some years before, what did people say in interviews that they heard Pac say? He said, "I'm not fucking with them sellout niggas," talking about Snoop. He said that Snoop was jacking his style. Pac had that joint with I think MC Breed. I gotta get mine, you gotta get yours. Shortly after that, Gin and Juice comes out with Snoop. You gotta get mine, well I gotta get yours, or I gotta get mine and you gotta get yours. Jacking Pac shit according to Pac. There's something else that you see on this screen, right? And I was talking about this a little bit in like a previous video. Let me hold up. All right, we can keep that there. There's enough room. What you see on this side, not the thing below that shows the feature list of that project, but look, you see that picture? I zoomed in on it a bit. This is the album cover of Lil Half Dead. Lil Half Dead is said to be Snoop Dogg's cousin, also a Crip. This was Lil Half Dead's project in 2012, an album he did called Dead Serious. And this is what I was talking about. It depicts Can-Am Studios, which were the Death Row Studios that Pac and the Outlaws were recording in '96. See all that background design? That's Can-Am Studios. And what do you see depicted? The light-skinned guy with cornrows that's been shot and killed in this picture. That's Gaddafi that was killed about 2 months after Pac. And what do you see right there in front in the white dress shirt? That's Tupac. You can't tell me that that's not Can-Am Studios and that was not Lil Half Dead, Snoop Dogg's cousin, depicting both Gaddafi and Tupac murdered on his album cover. Shout out to Makaveli Media, because for those that may not have been able to make the connection that that's who this guy is depicting, well, Makaveli Media a couple years ago, Gab that is, of Makaveli Media, he did a great video kind of showing it. So I don't think I got to play the audio, I just want to show you the visuals. Here's a better way where you could see more of the full depiction of that album cover. You see it, right? That's the full cover, and on the side it's supposed to be them. But check this out. He called the joint dead serious. What do you mean by dead serious? What was he trying to convey? What is he dead serious about? Now, I'm not saying, because, you know, there's a theory that Half Dead had something to do with the murder. I ain't even necessarily saying all that. Check this out. What do you see here? Tupac in that white shirt, just like in the cartoon version of the picture. Look at that background. Tell me that that Lil Half Dead cover is not depicting Can-Am Studios. And tell me that that visual, that cartoon character, that individual was not Tupac. Look at the shirt. Look at the collar. I don't see Gaddafi in this image, but if you could pull up any picture of Gaddafi, you see he got cornrows, he's light-skinned. How did Gaddafi die? Very similar to, his injury was very similar to what's depicted in that cartoon right there. So this is crazy, and like I said, I'm not even going with the whole theory that Snoop and them killed him or anything like that. But little sly shit like this, slick shit, rocking with the enemies, the people that even though Keefe didn't do the proffer agreement in 2003 when Snoop was on that guy Freaky Dre's project, it's still, the word was already on the street. Snoop's a Crip. He's tied to the streets, he hears things. There's no way that he didn't know that Freaky Drae, the dude that started Runoff Records, there's no way that he didn't know that he was a Southside Crip, and there's no way that Snoop didn't know that it was heavily considered that the Southside Crips killed Tupac. Even further, there's no way that Snoop didn't know that Freaky Drae was in the car with the people with the Southside Crip members that shot Tupac and killed him. And there's no way, I'm gonna even go as far as say there's no way that Snoop Dogg didn't know that some people on the street were saying that Freaky Drae himself killed him. In fact, now this is where it just goes into speculation. Snoop may know a whole lot more. He may know for sure if Freaky Drae did it. This is insane, y'all. I'm gonna put a link, since I played a little bit of the guy's video, I'll put a link to that video, as I didn't play the whole thing. It's only 3 minutes, but I'll put a link to the mini documentary on Freaky Drae, aka DeAndre Smith, in the description. But this is wild. Oh yeah, I did want to play this. I want y'all to hear the voice of the guy that now has been highly regarded as the actual shooter of Tupac. We're gonna hear his voice a little bit. Why? Because I don't think he raps on the project that he did. It's like a compilation album with different artists. But he does do the intro. So I'll let you guys hear that right now. Check this out.
Platinum Underground with that motherfucking hard white.
This is Freaky Drae, the guy that they're saying is the actual trigger man of pop.
Where the mask is at? Run off up in your ass like this, baby. Compton. Yeah, we coming with that motherfucking hard white. Yeah, fuck a label. Fuck a deal. Yeah. 2 times Platinum Underground, and we doing it like this, bitch.
And you know what? And I'm not even being funny when I say this. I skimmed through this project. I heard the song Snoop was on. Anybody that know me knows I love that West Coast sound. The shit got the nerve to actually be dope. I'm sorry. I'm going to be objective. I'm going to keep it a buck. The project is actually dope. The shit got the nerve to actually be fire. In fact, Snoop's verses, he did 2. This nigga gave Freaky Drae probably some of his best material. Because to me, anybody that know, I say like once Pac hit the scene on Death Row, Snoop started sounding whack. He started trying to act like he Melly Mel with the baby bubble and the hibbity 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 hop 82 type shit. But no, he gave his all on this one. He's on the song called When You Live in the Life. So anyone that's interested, just look up Runoff Records, Hard White. This project will pop up and check the song out. He had the nerve to actually give that nigga some fire. Leave a comment, y'all, man. Stop fronting, man. Comment. Let me know what y'all think about this. To me, this shit is crazy. Some of y'all are like, oh, I've been knew about that. Whatever. Expand on it. Tell us more shit that niggas don't know, because I didn't know about any of this. But that's crazy. Snoop worked with the co-conspirator of the murderer of Tupac and possibly the trigger man that killed Tupac himself. Crazy.